Everyone thinks a 200-watt panel is a 200-watt panel, but here's the thing, most of them rarely hit their rated power in the real world. The BougeRV 200W N-type bifacial panel promises up to 25% efficiency and a 30% rear side boost, but that can be either marketing fluff or an absolute steal at this price. I spent 2 weeks testing it on my van rack, a ground deploy stand, and a backyard tilt frame to see which it is. And what I found is that this panel can outperform its class or underwhelm, depending entirely on how you set it up. Stick with me because the most surprising win wasn't what the product page hypes. Before we dive into what I discovered, quick heads up, if you're already nodding along and want the best deal, I dropped the current price link below. But do not buy it blind. 2 simple setup choices will make or break your results. Here's the setup. I needed something to replace a pair of tired 100W panels on my camper that were underperforming by 30–40% by noon on hot days. I've tried flexible panels that cooked themselves, cheap framed panels that browned out over time, and a so-called high-efficiency module that never cracked 150W. I wanted 3 things. Stable midday output in heat, usable power in the morning and late afternoon, and a footprint that wouldn't eat up my whole roof. The BougeRV checked the right boxes on paper. N-type cells with tunnel oxide passivation, 16 busbar layout for better current collection, bifacial glass back, and a smaller area for the same 200W rating. It's rated 4.5 stars on Amazon, and at 169.99 it undercuts a lot of N-type competition. I was skeptical, so I ran it through real-world scenarios that have killed my enthusiasm for lesser panels before. Test 1, clear midday sun, 70s Fahrenheit, panel tilted to match latitude. With a Victron MPPT and an inline meter, I saw consistent peaks in the 185–195W range, with brief spikes past 200W when a light breeze cooled the glass. That's already better than the bargain P-type 200W units I've tested that stall out at 160–175W. But then I set the panel over a bright, reflective surface with a 6-inch standoff to feed the bifacial backside. That's where it gets interesting. I recorded repeatable bumps of 8–15% over the front-only baseline, nudging it into the low 200s for sustained intervals. Not the full 30% you might dream of, but a real, free gain if you set it up intelligently. Test 2, morning and late afternoon, slanted light and some cloud cover. This is where N-type usually shines thanks to better low-light response and a friendlier temperature coefficient. The BougeRV held 60–110W in conditions that had my old P-type 200W panel languishing at 40–80W. The output didn't nosedive the moment a cloud passed, and the recovery after shade events was quick. For van life or portable power, that translates to useful charging earlier and later in the day. Test 3, rooftop heat. Asphalt 90–95F ambient, panel around noon with minimal airflow. Most 200W panels crumble here. With no rear reflectance and a 1.5-inch standoff, the BougeRV settled in the 150–165W band. That tracks with NOCT realities. It wasn't magic, but it beat my older P-type 200W unit by roughly 10–15W under the same brutal heat. If you're running a rooftop array that bakes, that incremental advantage matters over hours. Test 4, partial shade. I masked a third of the panel across one string to simulate a roof vent shadow. Output dropped dramatically into the 60–80W range. The bypass diodes did their job preventing a total collapse, but let's be real, like any series-wired panel, cross-string shade is the enemy. If your roof has unavoidable shadows, plan your layout carefully or run more parallel strings. Build and usability. The frame is solid, glass on both sides feels robust, standard MC4 connectors click in securely, and the pre-drilled mounts lined up with my Z-brackets and tilt legs. Corrosion-resistant aluminum is table stakes, it's here. Size-wise, it's noticeably more compact than some 200W panels I've owned, which helps on tight roofs. BougeRV's 10-year tech support and their one-on-one solar system guidance are nice confidence builders if you're new to sizing controllers and batteries. Here's the revelation. The magic isn't the headline 30% bifacial claim. In my tests, the big win is a combination of smaller footprint plus N-type consistency through changing light. If you elevate it over something bright or deploy it on a ground stand over concrete, light gravel, or a white mat, you get a meaningful free boost. If you flush mount it tight to a dark RV roof, you won't. That's the truth most listings gloss over. I put in about 20 hours of installs, swaps, and logging to be sure, and compared it with a mid-range PERC panel and an older half-cut monocrystalline unit. The BougeRV consistently edged them in morning, evening, and heat, and matched or beat them at noon, especially with rear-side reflectance. Against expectations, the smaller footprint wasn't just convenient. It concentrated my usable roof space and let me angle for better sun without hitting my fan cover. Durability and long-term degradation claims matter too. N-type cells typically degrade slower than P-type, and BougeRV cites a longer service life window. If you're thinking in years, not months, that adds up. Is it too good to be true at $169.99? Not if you understand the setup. It's a killer value for N-type bifacial in the 200W class, backed by solid user ratings. But if you glue it flat to a dark roof and expect a 30% bonus, you'll be disappointed. Give it air gap, give it light underneath, and it earns the hype. Now that you know the key findings, setup dictates your gains. If this fits your rig or portable kit, grab it while the price holds and stock's decent. I linked the best current offer below, plus the MPPT controllers and mounting hardware I used so you can copy the winning setup. Bottom line, the BougeRV 200W N-type bifacial panel is a smart buy for RVers, van lifers, overlanders, and anyone running a portable ground array who can elevate it and leverage rear side light. It's also a strong option for cabin or shed systems paired with a proper MPPT. Skip it if you need ultralight flexible panels, if you must mount completely flush on a dark surface, or if your roof suffers from unavoidable cross-shade. If you play to its strengths, you get big panel performance in a smaller footprint without wasting your money. Set it up right and it punches above its weight. Set it up wrong and it's just another 200-watt sticker.